Hey, what's up everybody? It's Jack. Welcome back. And in this video, I wanted to basically discuss 10 facts about me because I figured since you guys are going to be seeing a lot more of me as far as streaming is concerned and YouTube, that I figured it would all start with me making a video with 10 facts about me because, you guys are watching me. So I figured, these guys got to know a little bit more about me. I'm sure some of them might be wondering. So without going overboard about it, I just thought I'd give you 10 kind of random facts about me. So here we go. Oh, and I will be speaking in the third person, so to speak, in a few of these. So bear with me on that. Plus, it's kind of funny. I have a weird sense of humor. But anyway, let's get started. Fact number one: Jack is 31. Now, if you've been watching me for some time, ever since I started, which was like I don't know 3-4 months ago, I've mentioned that I was 30, and I literally just turned 31. So I figured I'd get that out there. Basically, when I first started gaming, I was 7 years old, and basically the regular Nintendo, the NES system, was still being rented before you could actually rent it before you could buy it. So yeah, that's how far back I go. It's kind of a funny fact, but thought I'd get it out there. Anyway, let's move on. Number two, Jack's favorite video game system of all time is the Super Nintendo. I've had great nostalgic moments in every single system that I've gamed in. I've had great fun, a lot of different experiences, great games, but nothing quite did it like the Super Nintendo because not only was it a step ahead of the Nintendo, which was an awesome system, but the game the games that were coming out at that time were basically the precursors of what you see today. A lot of the prequels of what you see today. Games like Mortal Kombat, games like Street Fighter, games like Doom, which is the precursor of the first-person shooter genre that you see today. All these prequels and all these more original type games were mostly coming out on the Super Nintendo system. They were in the arcades first, and then from the arcades, after they've been out a while in the arcades, they would get ported to home consoles, which at that time, which was one of the newer ones, was the Super NES. And I just grew up with so many different games back in that genre. I mean, I had the Genesis also, I had a Sega Saturn, I had a PlayStation 1, I had a whole bunch of consoles growing up. I was very fortunate at that time to have that. And the thing is, nothing quite did it like the Super NES. I mean, I had countless sleepovers of me and my friends trying to basically beat every game before the weekend was over. All sorts of new games, you name it. Every single game we played it. Streets of Rage, Turtles in Time. Turtles in Time is probably one of my favorite games of all time. But you guys name it. Super Nintendo was basically the start of everything in terms of being passionate about gaming is concerned. And I had the best time of my life playing playing that system growing up, and all the games that came with it. So for me, it all started with the Super NES. All right, let's move on to fact number three. Jack is a martial artist. I have been doing martial arts for 10 years. Taught it as well, Taekwondo and Jiu-Jitsu, and I am looking forward to basically continuing my Jiu-Jitsu training sometime in the near future. Right now, money is very tight, so hopefully sometime in 2016 I'll get started with. I'll continue with my Jiu-Jitsu and then finish that off, and I'm really looking forward to that because I definitely want to make my black belt in Jiu-Jitsu. I have about 3 years experience, so I'm a blue belt level at this point. But because I was so involved in my Taekwondo and my teaching in it as well, because I am an instructor as well, I basically I couldn't focus as much on Jiu-Jitsu as I wanted to because Taekwondo was the first priority because it was a job as well at the time. So but yeah, I've got a lot of experience in the martial arts, and I can't wait to continue doing it sometime in 2016. And it is good to kind of take a break sometimes because sometimes it can get overwhelming if you're teaching it and practicing it well as well at the same time. So it's really good to kind of recharge your batteries and then start fresh with something else, and then learn and then conquer that, and then move on to the next thing, and so on and so forth. So that's kind of where I got the Jack of all trades from, as far as this YouTube channel's name is concerned. I kind of picked that up because in martial arts I've always learned, and I've always had this kind of mentality, and I really don't care what anybody else thinks that's in the martial arts or that is not. But the thing is, it is always good to be a jack of all trades than just a master of one. In other words, it is good to be good. It's better to be good at and more than one style or in more than one thing if you want to approach it in life, rather than just to be a master at one style and not know anything about other things. So that's kind of the mentality that I have, and I'm really, really looking forward to finishing up my jiu-jitsu, because although you never really finish, you know, you're always constantly learning, but I can't wait to accomplish my goals in that, and it was a lot of fun, and I would really love to continue doing that. And 2016 looks like it's going to be the year that it's going to happen, and I can't wait. All right, let's move on to fact number 4. This is kind of weird, but Jack hopes to marry a woman that is into games. If I ever do decide to get married, of course you got to meet the right one, right? Not the perfect one. It's not all about finding the perfect person. It's about basically finding the right person for you, and you know, having a relationship for a long time, and you know, going through things together. And then if you decide to go for the next level, then go for the next level and get married. But although it's not a requirement, I am hoping that she would be into games, because I have been playing games ever since I was 6 years old or 7, and I have not stopped ever since. I don't play as much as I used to, but I have not stopped. So I am hoping that she would be into them as well. Again, not a requirement, but it's kind of something I'm hoping for. Crossing my fingers here. But anyway, let's move on to fact number 5. Jack loves Batman. Now, I will be making another video about this in the future, going specifically into detail of why. But I am just a really big Batman fan, and I'll just leave it at that. I love it. And, you know, so that way I don't make 2 videos into one here. I'm just not going to say anything more than that. He is my favorite superhero of all time, and will always will be. Fact number 6, Jack's favorite movie of all time is Batman 1989. Now, I know what some of you guys are thinking. It's like, well, of course his favorite movie is Batman 1989. His favorite superhero of all time is Batman. Well, that's not exactly 100% of the reason why Batman 1989 is my favorite movie. And basically, I was about 5 years old when I saw it. I was living in Canada at the time. And I specifically remember this because I remember it being so cold in Canada. And oh my gosh, the recess stories are ridiculous. But anyway, going back on topic here. I remember a friend of my dad's came over, and he brought this movie over, and it was Batman. And I remember on the VHS, because back then it was all about VHS. There was no DVDs or anything like that. So you actually had to wait for the tape to rewind before you actually could watch it, which would be like, I don't know, 3 minutes or 4 minutes. But anyway, he brought it over, and I remember really liking it. I've always liked the tone. Jack Nicholson was hilarious in that movie. It didn't scare me at all, even though I was like 5 years old. I really was intrigued by the darker side of the superhero of Batman and Michael Keaton. And I was only like 4 or 5 years old, so you don't really understand the specifics about casting and about all these different people. But all I knew is I loved the movie. I loved everything, and that the picture of that bat symbol and the score of the movie, you know, it really stuck in my head. So, you know, a couple years later, you know, obviously we were back in the States after that a couple years later, and I remember going to a store, and I saw in the VHS section, I saw Batman. I saw the bat symbol. I'm like, ooh, this has got to be it. So I look at it. I even turn it around on the other side, and I see that these are the pictures of what I saw back in the day, because some things just stick with you when you're a kid. I saw it, and I was like, oh, this is the movie. I gotta have it. So I went to Mom, and I begged her that we bought it, and Mom, of course, always gave in. So the next thing you know, I had the movie, and I had it ever since. And it is my favorite movie also because I just never get bored of watching it. I could watch it at any time, doing anything simultaneously, you name it. I love Batman 1989. Great movie. Not 100% true to the Batman lore in terms of who killed Batman's parents and you know, all these other things, but in terms of the movie that I really enjoy watching, it is an awesome movie. Okay, let's move on to the next fact. We are number 7 now. Fact number 7, Jack is bald. I am now bald. I basically, in my mid-20s, I started losing my hair, and I could easily see it. I think it originally started as in one of my old jobs. I was basically doing a lot of maintenance work and a lot of moving things, and I was wearing a hat in order to basically keep the sun rays from basically melting me. If you don't have a hat, and if you're working outdoors a lot, I mean, this Florida weather can literally kill you. So a hat was a necessity, definitely a lifesaver, and I just kept on wearing it tighter and tighter, and I kept on, you know, adjusting it a lot and everything. And then on the top sides of my head, you know, my hair was starting to recede more and more, and the next thing you know, as the years went by, it happened at the top, and then it just didn't grow right anymore. So then I just kept on using clippers shorter and shorter, and then one day I said, you know what, let me just shave this thing all the way. About a year and a half ago, I started shaving it all the way, and quite frankly, it doesn't look bad at all. And for those of you guys out there that are worried about going bald, believe it or not, it is not as bad as you guys think it is, or how some people make it out to be. The only thing I can tell you that sucks about it is that you're going to be using razor blades more, so you're going to be having to buy them more often. That's pretty much it. So, and I have a proportionate head too, so I guess that's why I don't mind it much. So yeah, I just left the goatee on, because I always used to be a baby face. So I just left the goatee on, and then just shaved the head, and wham bam, I have a new look, and I like it, and other people like it too, but ultimately it's not about what other people think. So I'm pretty happy with it. I've got no problem with it whatsoever. And for those of you guys that are worried about baldness, do not worry. It is not as bad as you think, and as a matter of fact, you might even like it. As a matter of fact, I can pretty much tell you, with time, you will like it. All right, let's move on to the next one. Fact number 8, Jack is goofy. That's right. You guys have not seen it yet, but you'll probably see it when I start to stream. And especially if it's one of those days where I have, like, if I happen to have a lot of sugar, which I don't have very often because I'm watching myself, I can go pretty crazy as far as, like, my goofiness. I do it all the time at work when I'm bored, because as soon as boredom hits me, I just start to act like a crazy lunatic. With all the crazy things that I say, the faces that I make, body gestures, all these kind of things. I mean, if you guys were to get in contact with anybody that works with me, they will tell you that that's basically how it is, and they just shake their heads, and they literally think I'm crazy. And quite frankly, if I were to record that and if I were to watch it, I would probably think I'm crazy too. So, so with time, you'll probably end up seeing it. So you'll probably see it on stream more than on here. So. All right, let's move on. Oh, wow, we're already at 12 minutes. We got to end this one quick. Fact number 9, Jack loves to cook. I absolutely love to cook. I started cooking when I was around 11 or 12 years old. Started out with basic breakfast like omelets and scrambled eggs, that stuff like that, and then just moved up. And then whenever I'm in the mood, I just really love looking up all these different recipes and stuff like that, and I love to cook them. And so far I am in love with Italian, and quite frankly, I don't even go out that much to get Chinese food anymore, because I can make it at home, and I can do it naturally, and I can do it how I want it and make it even better. But my top thing is Italian. If I wanted to impress somebody with my cooking, I would make my Italian. I have my own kind of secret recipe of my Alfredo and spaghetti with any form of meat that you want, preferably either pork or, you know, some sort of sausage or something like that. But no, trust me, I made it once, and my dad was a cook for like 20 years, and he was very impressed. And I learned, and I blended a recipe that I found on YouTube, and I put my own little twist on it with some wine and a couple of other things. I'm not going to give away the recipe. I might make a video about it, you never know, or a vlog of me cooking. But it's Italian is definitely my one of my weaknesses as far as cooking. I really enjoy it, and sometimes I just get in the mood for cooking like these really cool things. Steak is another one too. Let's move on to the very last one, and this one may be a boring fact, but Jack does not drink. I don't know, I guess I just never had a taste for alcohol. I don't, you know, I guess that would kind of make me a boring person to some people, but I don't drink, don't smoke, never really been a big fan of the party scene. I mean, I've been to a few parties here and there, but I'm just, you know, at the most I could probably be goofy and stuff like that if I felt like it, but for the most part, you know, I just don't drink at all. Just never really liked the taste of it. Never liked beer, never liked liquor. You know, some mixed drinks, sure, because they have some sweetness to them, but I don't know. They taste almost the same as regular juice to me, or a soda. So I, you know, if I were to prefer to have some sort of special drink, I prefer a soda or a juice or something like that. So don't smoke either, none of that. You know, so I guess I'm just a different guy. So yeah, that'll do it. We're approaching 15 minutes here. I didn't want to make this video too long, but yeah, those are 10 facts about Jack. So I figured this would be a good way for you guys to get to know me by not knowing everything about me, so to speak. So I went way over the limit. This commentary is actually longer than I thought it was going to be, but I thought it was pretty good. So I figured I'd make this video because it just made complete sense. So I will catch you guys on the next one. I hope you enjoy the gameplay. I hope you enjoy the commentary. any comments or anything like that, leave them in the comments section, and I will catch you guys later. See ya.